Hey, Dumb Dirt Guy here. I want to talk to you about the new way that they're contaminating our foods and changing the way that we eat. Uh, Looks like July, the USDA, in its infinite wisdom, has decided that lab-grown meat is good enough for human consumption in the United States. So, we got lab-grown meat. So, what in the world is lab-grown meat? Well, if you look up the website, you'll find that they take either a fertilized egg for chicken, uh, and they take samples out of the fertilized egg stem cells, and they mix them in this broth. They say it's enzymes and some type of proteins and some other things are added together, and and it helps this stuff grow. And then they start growing it in a petri dish, and then once it gets big enough, they throw it in a steel vat, kind of like a beer vat, and then they let it grow, they have it grow, and they do things to it to make it so that it only grows muscle. It won't grow the fat, and it won't grow the bonding materials like ligaments and things like that in the beef or the chicken. So then, after it grows, then they bring it out and they tried very hard to sell it just as chicken or just as beef or just as pig or whatever it was that they were cultivating. But there was so much debate about it, and since some of them add like a plant base to it, others add a shellfish cells and stuff to it to help it to grow, and so it's a mixed batch. There's different ones that do it different ways. Different companies. There's like 150 companies throughout the world that are doing this stuff, and they're going to feed people with this, and they didn't want to make it have any type of labeling because they want to sneak it in on people, especially through the fast food chains and stuff like that. Now, right now, they're saying that the fast food chains aren't picking up on it because regular beef is about $4.95 a pound, whereas this stuff can, in some cases, it says, get to be $17 a pound. Okay, I think it's all bullshit. They're just like anything else. They're just figuring out ways, and they'll make it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And if they can make it cheap enough to where they can push the farmers out of business growing beef and make the demand on this stuff, higher if we accept it, then we'll lose our farmers, and that'd be a hell of a shame. We need to be very careful. We can't allow them to do this nonsense. Some of these companies, like I say, are even using shellfish. Some people are deathly allergic to shellfish, so I'm not sure how they're going to jump that hurdle. But they did have big debates, and they did say that they have to call it cultured meat or lab cultured meat, and there has to be something somewhere written down that that's what it is. So now, if you have a fast food chain that does adopt this somewhere in their ingredients, which I don't know anybody who's read the ingredients of Big Burger, somewhere in the ingredients it would have to say that this is cultured meat, and you can bet they're not going to want to say it. It's not for vegan, so they don't get any extra vegans or vegetarians out of this because it is made from cells from animals. Now, they say that some of the ways that they get these cells, they're talking about how humane it is and everything, but if they don't get it from fertilized egg, which that's not the only way they get it for chickens, and they definitely don't do that for cows, obviously, but if they don't get it from a fertilized egg, they have to take samples of the living animal. They say they take samples of the living animal and they use that, some of them do, and then others take biopsies of the living animal and they use that. So instead of us inhumanely slaughtering these animals, we're going to give them a death of 1,000 paper cuts. And I'm certain that they're going to find ways, just like they do with veal. You don't want these. You don't want these cows to have to, have a lot of exercise or anything like that, because cows don't have to be fat anymore. They don't even have to be fit anymore, I don't believe. All they need is the cells to grow cells. I mean, let's face it, the cells in the vats aren't getting exercise. They're just growing. So you won't need a lot of land. You can probably grow a cow in the basement of a house or something, and just keep going down there and jabbing it. I don't know how it's all going to work. They'll have their own cows probably in labs. But this is going to destroy our food chain. We're going to be dependent on these idiots. And it's going to put the farmers out of business. And I can guarantee you, after they finish destroying our meat, poultry, pork industry, they're going to go after the vegetables. And I guarantee you'll be hearing that they have figured out a way to make a fake corn. They've figured out a way to make fake green beans. They figured out a way to make fake spinach. We don't have to till the land anymore because they can take one plant and make tons of the stuff. And that's what they're going to do to us. They want control. They want power. If we can no longer produce our own food and we have to rely on these people with their labs and their mega money culture, super poor culture is what's going to be created. And we are going to end up to where you won't, unless you're growing your own food, you will absolutely not be able to buy anything unless they let you. We need to get vigilant, people. I mean, this is crazy. I'm not even sure that a lot of you viewers even know that this happened. It already happened. It's already approved by the FDA. The Food and Drug Administration has said, green light, let's go. So I want you to put in the comments if you think this is a good idea or a bad idea. I mean, hey, I know how they're going to push it. We'll be able to feed the world. We'll be able to make all this stuff and feed the world. And if you really think that that's what these people want to do, then I have got some swampland in Texas that I want to sell you. And I got a really nice bridge in Brooklyn that I think you might want to buy. I'll sell it cheap because there's no way that these people, I mean, I understand Bill Gates is buying up a whole bunch of farmland. There's no way that these people have our best interests in mind. They're not going to protect us. They're not going to feed us. They're just going to create ways to control us. So, do yourself a huge favor. Find a local farmer. Get to know them. Ask them if you can buy your beef from them. Ask them, and if they say no, go to another one. Go to a smaller farm. I buy all my beef from, well, that's not true. That's not true. I do sometimes go to the grocery store, especially when there's good sales, and I buy beef, some hamburger and stuff like that. But I buy at least a half a cow from a farmer that I know and I trust, and I know he grows his own grass for his grass-fed Angus. And he will sell to the public. So I know there's farmers out there that'll do it. And you don't have to buy a half a cow. He'll set you up boxes. He's got a bunch of different boxes that he sets up with steaks and ground beef and stuff, and he's got a bunch of different prices. I mean, $200, $500, $1,000. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. There are farmers that will do this, and you leave a note in the comments if you need help finding one, and maybe I can help you. I know in Maryland I definitely can. So be safe. Don't let these people take over our food system. Call your congressman. Make sure that they're not just going to allow this stuff to go out into the public in a cloaked container, so that it's very difficult for us to decide whether we want to do this or not. If this is so great, then the people that want to eat it, fine, let them eat it. But the people that don't want to eat it, make it easy for them to realize this is not real. This is something that they grew in a lab, and if it's not something you want to put in your body, they screwed up sugar pretty good when they went for sugar. Now, mind you, I'm cutting sugar out of my life as much as I can because I'm getting fat, But the thing is that it's a choice. But when they came out with those sugars, and the sugars were cancer causing, cancer is a horrible disease. And there's more and more and more and more of us that are getting it, and we're dying from it. And a lot of people are making a lot of money off of things that are giving it to us, and they're not being held accountable. So we have a real problem here. I'm sure they're going to have a quote Fauci type of person who's going to jump in front of a microphone soon and say how great this stuff is. Right now they're saying some people say. That's all I'm getting out of there. I haven't seen one name yet that's willing to jump up here and say, I've researched this stuff is safe, it's good, you should eat it. I eat it at my house, and I can't wait to see it. But until that happens, even after it happens, I'm not going to believe it. But you can, if you want to. I'm not saying that I know anything, because I'm just a dumb dirt guy. Do your own due diligence, and please be safe. Thanks for listening.